Okay, sir. Good morning, everyone. My topic is face recognition and detection using neural network. First, go with the introduction. There are multiple methods in which the face recognition system works, but in general, they work by comparing the selected facial features from the given images with the faces within the database. The face recognition technology, there are facial image. It is also described, the face recognition technology is also described as an artificial intelligence based application where we can uniquely identify the person by analyzing the patterns and based on the person's facial textures and shape. Then let's talk about the image processing will be used in every face recognition technology. The image processing is the use of digital computer to process the digital images through an algorithm, as simple. So, and face detection is one of the challenging problem in image processing. The basic aim of face detection is determine if there is any face in an image and locate the position of the face in the image. Eventually, face detection is a first step towards creating an automated system which may involve other face processing. And in this face recognition, we are using a neural network to train the system, and for recognition, we'll use the neural network. Neural network is created and trained with the training data set on faces and non-faces, so that it can recognize both whether the images consist of face or if it's not. And it also recognizes there is no face in the image. All results are implemented in MATLAB environment. We train the network with the help of training data. Then the trained network is able to recognize the face, and then it will compare and verify with the database which is already present in network. Next, let's talk about biometrics. Biometric replaces the passwords and identity cards. As we know that the personal identification in computerized access control has resulted in increased interest in biometrics to replace the password and identification card. The reason is if the password is known to any fake people, fake or unauthorized persons, it will be misused. And there may be, if in many cases, they are using a ID card as recognize the ID card to recognize the employee in company or etc. There is a chances where the user ID may be misplaced or being stolen by any of the unauthorized users, and it can be used for it will be more dangerous. Then it will reduce the human intrusion in many applications. For example, in passport verification in airports and many other times, there may be people who will misuse the passports of other people's, etc. So, and it is a repetitive task. The man may be strained, and he's many of the times he didn't look properly. But when we replace it with the face recognition system, it will be find out the human face whether is unauthorized or unauthorized easily. Next is the literature survey. First, I go to the paper face recognition system using artificial neural network approach. This proposed face recognition system consists of, in this paper, they consist of two phases called recognition and verification phases. Uh, the image in this paper, they used image acquisition and face detection and training and recognition and verification in 4 steps. First, they will recognize whether the person is whether there is any image in the image face image in the given test input, and they will verify with the database whether it will consist of the authorized person or not. The the image is acquired using a web camera and stored in a database. Next, the face image is detected and trained. During training, the face image is recognition verification phase. The user may use this system. In second paper, survey on backpropagation algorithm for feed-forward network. In this paper, they briefly elaborated about how the backpropagation network can be implemented in the face recognition system. By using the backpropagation system, we will first predict the weights that has to be given in the network for the prediction and training and etc. all the processes. Once the weight has been predicted using the backpropagation, those weights has been implemented in the feed forward neural network. The feed forward neural network, as it says, it's one stretch. There is no chances of coming back and changing the weights, and there is no chances of there is no cases of error. Feed forward network is implemented for the application what finally we do, but by the help of the backpropagation we find out the weights, and using that weights we implement it into the feed forward network for the prediction. In next, in third paper is neural network based face recognition using MATLAB. In this paper, the proposed to label a self-organization map SOM to measure the image similarity, and self-organization map has been particularly successful in various pattern recognition tasks involving very noisy signals, which means in this paper they briefly elaborated about how noisy images can be used in the face recognition system for the extraction of the face from the noisy image. They have used a self-organization map which works as same as a KN algorithm. They will plot the features versus the neurons in the graph, and they will look for the any classification or any similarities between the test image and with the given dataset image, and they will grab some classes which will collect of many classes. Each class will collect particular or unique feature collections, so that in the in the identification process, when the image is compared with the whole database, it will look for the most compromising feature class, and there it will identify the person's name. So this is elaborated in this paper. Next, fourth paper is artificial neural network in face detection. In this paper, neural network tests only the face candidate regions for faces. This search space is reduced, which means in this paper it will go through the main features of the face, such as eyes, nose, and mouth. In eyes, it will locate for the positioning of the eyes, size of the eyes. In nose, it will go for the size of the nose and positioning of the nose, and mouth as well. Same follows for the mouth also. And it will first it will do the grayscale method, so that all the pixels in the image should be in a one brightness level, so that it could predict well. And many other things like forehead and chin region has been removed, but this is one of the disadvantage has been told in this paper. But it could concentrate on the main features of the face, so it can predict very fast compared to other system. And the fourth one is artificial neural network based face recognition. In this paper, they demonstrate how the face recognition can be designed with artificial neural network, where the training process did not consist of a single training function. Instead of that, the network was trained using several times on various input, ideal and noisy images, and the image with the content faces and different angle of the faces, which means the single man's 7 to 8 different angle faces has been used to train the system for the recognition of the face. Okay, then next go to what is neuron. As we have been using a neural network, first we need to brief about what is neuron. In human brain is consist of millions of neurons. As simple as the human works is just like in any of the information, this passes from any of the organ to the brain. In the brain, the images in the brain, the information is get processed from passing the information from one neuron to another neuron using the dendrites. While passing the information from the one neuron to another neuron, the information it gets processed by collectively all the neurons works together and to give us information. So this is what the neuron works in our human brain. But we will try to design an artificial neuron in the computer. Let's see how it's work. In the right side of the diagram, you can see x1, x2 up to xn. We have input layer to insert the input from x1 to xn, or you have any of the image collected from any of the CCTV footages or etc. All the images were divided into pixels, and each pixel value is given as input to the input layer from x1 to xn. These input layer, each neuron or each input x1 is multiplied with the random w. Actually, the weight will do the major role in the artificial neural network. It will decide the accuracy of the system. As in the first step only, we couldn't achieve the more accuracy. We will do the back propagation and many of the algorithms. At first, we will go with the random weight, and x1 is multiplied with the weight, and it is added with the x2 multiplied with the w2 and w2 weight, and these all the collective summations will be stored in the information, and this is called as a hidden layer. We have a single hidden layer, multi-layer, multi-hidden layers or perceptron, many other techniques has been used. This is just for basics, and this from this hidden layer is processed from one hidden layer to another hidden layer. At the end, we get the y. Y is consist of it is the output layer where we can get the input, where we can get the output, the prediction of whether the image consists of face or not, or whether the verification of the face is the one right one or not, can be used. Particular individual only by observing the human face quite is remarkable. This capacity persists even though the passage of time change in appearance. Particular occasions he may also confuse, but the computer will not confuse. It will predict perfectly if we train the system correctly. Next, go to the next slide. It's challenges in face recognition. We have two challenges in face recognition, as I told early. It's face verification and face identification. These two are the challenges that has been faced in face recognition. Face verification is one-to-one match that compares a query face image, which is nothing but we have given as the input, against the template face image whose identity is being claimed. To evaluate the verification performance, we can, for example, if you have a given any of the input, the database will fetch the similar with the image with having the highest similarity in the database, and these two images has to be compared. As it's mentioned, it's a one-to-one. The most highest feature recognized face has been claimed here, and with each one face from the test and one face from the database has been compared for the verification that whether he is the correct person with access guy who is requesting for the access, and we can predict it. We can do it like the verification rate can be predicted using verification performance calculated by verification rate. The verification rate is nothing but the rate at which the correct user is granted the access versus the false accept. False access, it is nothing but the rate at which the false user are granted with the access is plotted, and it's called the ROC curve. A good verification should balance these two rates based on the operational needs. Next problem is the face identification. It is one to many. In this process, the test input is given, is compared with the all the images in the database, and it has to look for the highest feature, highest having having highest common features images has to be fetched from the whole database, and it's a one-to-many matching process that compares a query face image against all the template images in face database to determine the identify of the query face. The identification of the test image is done by locating the image in the database and has the highest similarity with the test image. The identification process will go as in this, which means that the sensor takes an observation of the individual that is known to be in the database. The test subject is normalized features are compared to the other features in the system database, and a similarity score is found for each of the comparison. And similarly, scores are numerically ranked using the descending order. The highest score has been will be placed at the first. It will take 10. It will taken for the verification step. The percentage of times that the highest similarity score is the correct match for the individual is preferred to the top match score, and it will match with the which will match with the test image. Next is the system overview. In system overview, you can see that enrollment, recognition, and verification. Enrollment is the process which will we can call it as a training phase, where we will use the n number of or many of the images to train the neural network. And in the recognition and verification phase, they will recognize the face in the image, and they will verify with the database whether the person's image or person image is present in database or not. And these are the two steps take place. The face recognition, the first we will go with the enrollment phase. In enrollment phase, the image is acquired using a web camera or stored database. Like the face images is detected and trained. During training, the face images is processed using some geometric and photometric normalization techniques. The features of the face images are extracted using several feature extraction techniques. The feature data is then stored together with the user identity in the database. The feature extraction methods and feature extraction method, it will be explained in the next slide. And next is the recognition and verification phase. The recognition and verification phase consist of two phases. One is recognition, another one is the verification. In recognition is nothing but a user face biometric data is one. Yes, ma'am. The user's face biometric data is one gain acquired, and then the system uses this to either identify who the user is or verify the claimed identity of the user. While identification involves comparing the acquired biometric information against the templates corresponding to all the users in the database. Verification involves comparing with only those templates corresponding to the claimed identity. Thus, identification and verification are the two distinct problems, have their own inherent complexities. The recognition verification phase comprises of several modules, which are image acquisition, face detection, and face recognition, verification, etc. Next, methodology, which is have told earlier, the pre-processing of data is, I'll explain about pre-processing of data and feature extraction. The pre-processing of the data is nothing but the purpose of pre-processing module is to reduce or eliminate some of the variants in face due to elimination, and the normalized and enhanced face image to improve the recognition performance of the system, which means as we have a better performance if you have the image with the enhanced, which means feature has been highlighted in the image. The pre-processing is crucial as the robustness of the face recognition system greatly depend on it. By performing explicit normalization process, system robustness against scaling, posture, and facial expression and illumination is increased. The photometric normalization consists of removing the means of geometrically normalized images and scaling the pixel values by their standard deviation, which means the pixel values has been increased or decreased based on the standard deviation value of the all the pixels, and it will normalize and it will photometric normalization consists of removing the mean of the geometrically normalized images and estimate over whole crop image the pixel has been pre-processed. The photometric normalization technique applied are histogram equalization and histomorphic filtering. The histogram equalization is the most common histogram normalized or gray level transform. It will generally called as gray level transform, which purpose is to reduce an image with equally distributed brightness level over the whole brightness scale, which is nothing but whole image has to be maintained with the same brightness level so that it can be compared with the test cases. It is usually done on too dark or too bright images in order to enhance the image quality and to improve face recognition performance. For example, in any of the images captured from the CCTV footage, it may be in morning, it may be in evening, and many of the images can be at different times. So the brightness level will be varied. In the evening, it is having a very less brightness so that the features or the many of the contents in the image is very low. So by increasing the brightness of the pixels or of the image, we can get the more features of the images. It can be done through the histogram equalization. Next is histomorphic filtering. The histomorphic filtering algorithm is as similar as Horn's algorithm. The A high pass filter is used to separate and suppress low frequency components while still passing the high frequency components in the signal, which means in general, high pass filter is used to separate and suppress low frequency type of signals. However, in illumination, for example, reflection problem, low frequency illumination is multiplied instead of added or high frequency reflections. To still able to use the usual high pass filter, the algorithm operation is need to convert the multiplication and addition for the uh, reprocessing. Next is feature extraction. The purpose of feature extraction is to extract the feature vector or information which represents the face. The main features of the face is highlighted: nose, eyes, and mouth. The features extraction algorithm used are principal component analysis and linear discriminant analysis. First one is principal component analysis. The PCA for face recognition is based on information theory approach. It extracted the relevant information in a face image and encoded as efficiently as possible. The identified the subspace of the images, which is nothing but the space between the two eyes and space between the nose and mouth has been extracted. It identify and the face image data and decorrelate with the pixels to find the distance. The principle, this classic representation of face images is obtained by projecting it into the coordinate system defined by the principal components. By projecting the face image in the coordinate system in XY axis, if it's 3D, it's in XYZ axis, these distance can be calculated. The projection of face images is decorrelation and dimensionally reduced to facilitate the decision making. It means it will be very easy to take a decision based on this coordinate distance mapping system by other than by comparing only the images. In mathematical terms, principal components of distribution of faces are in convex matrix is being used for a set of face images. Next is linear discriminant analysis, LDA. LDA is used in machine learning to find out the linear combination of features which best separate two or more classes of object or event, where the resulting combinations are used as linear classifier. It is also considered as feature reduction mapping or multi-dimensional space into space of fewer dimension. Prior to later classification, LDA is used in a number of classification related applications. One of these face recognition, where each face, which consists of large number of pixels, it reduced to a smaller set of linear combination prior to the classification. The linear combination obtained using LDA are referred to as Fisher faces. Linear discriminant analysis is used for facial recognition where face image relevant is based on discriminant analysis of eigen features. The LDA is projection of face image into a system of Fisher faces associated with the non-zero values, which will yield a presentation which emphasizes the discriminatory content of the image. LDA selects the linear subspace phi, which maximizes the ratio. Next is the classification. The purpose of classification submodule is to map feature space of the test data and discrete set of labeled data and serves as template. The classification techniques used artificial neural network. What we have been seeing from past two slides is based on the how to extract the feature from the image and how to process the image from lower quality and maintaining the brightness level. Will use different techniques to process the data. Once we get with the selected features and images with with good condition, then we will classify using the artificial neural network. Artificial neural network is a machine learning algorithm that has been used for various pattern classification problems such as gender classification, face recognition, and classification of facial expression, etc. Basically, all artificial neural network have a similar structure or topology. In the structure, some of the neuron interface to real world to receive its input. The output might be a particular character at the network thinks it has scanned or particular image it thinks is being viewed. All the rest of the neurons are hidden from the view, but neural network is more than a bunch of neurons. Once the One of the easiest way to design a structure is to create a layer of the element. As have been explained in the previous slide, the image is given to the input layer. Some hidden process has been will be processed in hidden layer, and in the output layer we will get the output. There are many techniques to design a neural network, among which the papers suggest for a backpropagation neural network and feed-forward neural network. Okay, see with the backpropagation neural network, it's a simple example which consists of 3 input and 1 hidden layer and 1 output neuron. In the real-time example, there is n number of input neurons in an input layer, and there are many hidden layers, and we can get the output at the output layer. It will be remain same. In the input layer, as of I said earlier, the images is divided into pixels, and the pixels brightness level is maintained, and the image is processed and feature has been extracted. Only the pixel values has been given to the input layer, and then it will process to the hidden layer by multiplying it with the random number of weights. Weight has been calculated randomly, and it will be used to design the neural network at first stage. Once it will reach the first hidden layer, it will pass to the next hidden layer, then next, and it will move into the output layer. In the output layer, we will look for the error. For example, we need to get an output of 0.223, and the output what we get is something more than that or less than that, so that we will check for the error. For example, the first step is friend propagation. Friend propagation is nothing but the weights has been multiplied with the input layer, and it will pass to the hidden layer. In hidden layer, it will pass to the output layer. This is just one propagation. It's a friend propagation. In the second step, we will look for the error. Error is calculated by half multiplied with the actual value what we need to get is subtracted with the result value what we need to get to the power 2. So it's a square every time, so there is no chances of getting a negative value. The error value will be positive. Once we will get the error, we will change all the weights what has been arranged randomly using the gradient descent rule. The gradient descent rule is nothing but it's a rule which is use differentiation function which will use to find the minimum of any of the function. We can get sine as a function, we can get cos as a function, but in the neural network we will taking the error as the function, and we will apply the gradient descent rule to find the minimum error, which means the error is differentiated with respect to the weight. We have n number of weights, so it has to be differentiated n number of times based on different weight values, and we will get the minimum error, and we will assign we will get the minimum value. That minimum value weight has been assigned into the weight, and we will go through the back propagation. We will chain all the weights from back end to up to front end. Once we reach the input level, we will do the same front propagation for the next time, and we will look for the output. Then we will check for the error value. If error value is very less, like 0.001 or less or 0, up to that level we will train the system, and we will constantly change the weights of the system. The back propagation neural network is specially made, or it can be implemented in the training phase of the data, where we can train the system using one image. Once we will train the complete neural network using the one image, we will get approximately correct weights. Then we will train the same with the remaining images, as being the same process will be carried out, and the weight value will be changed. And at the end, all the images that what we have been inserted into the which will train the neural network using all those images will be stored in the network, and it will predict the phase in we are given as in test input. Next is feed forward neural network. As it says, is a feed forward neural network. There is no chances of going back. So what are all the weights that has been calculated in the back propagation at the time of training of the neural network? These weight values can be implemented, it's been used in the feed forward network for the implementation purpose. Feed forward neural network consists of an input layer, as same as in the back propagation, and a hidden layer and output layer of neurons. Every node in a layer is connected to every other node in the neighbor layer. For example, input layer 1, hashtag 1, is connected with all the 5 neurons in the hidden layer. It's actually not 5, it's more than 5. As basics, we have in the image consists of only 5 neurons. With as same as that, hash 2, hash 3, hash 4, all the 4 neurons is connected to the all the 5 hidden layer neurons. And in third step, the feed forward neural network has no memory, and output is solely determined by current input and the weight values. It has no memory to store the information or features of the image. It will only do the it will only check for the yes or no. For example, it's a correct user or not. So we will use the trained weight values from the back propagation is implemented in the feed forward network. The output of each layer serves as input to the next layer. As similar as that, in the hidden layer, all the hidden layer output will be connected to the output layer. But if you have another hidden layer between output layer and the hidden layer, all the hidden layer output values will be connected to the next hidden layer. This can be increased from 3 to 4 neurons in the first hidden layer, next with increase with some more, next is increase with some more, and then it will end it with 3 to 1, and it will connect it to the output. The objectives of training a neural network is to reduce desired output when set of input is applied to the framework. As of my side, it's used for the recognition at the end when we train the system. Example, a layer with the n input xi and corresponding weights are wij. I is nothing but 1, 2, 3 up to how many number of n, it's how many input layers, how many input neurons are there, that amount of weight has been taken, and the summation n weighted output passes to the result through non-linear function phi called activation function. through the activation function, the input layer and input values and weights has been multiplied and go to the hidden layer. The function phi process the adding results plus and a threshold value 0 theta, thus producing the output y. Based on the activation function, it will predict the output. Next is training and testing of the system. In training, we will use, as of in training, we will use the neural training. It's called back propagation. In testing, we will use the feed forward neural network. At start, it will read the image and it will do the sampling and will take each pixels, and it will do the processing of the data, and it will extract the features. Once all these things has been done, it will fed to the neural network for the purpose of training, and stores features in the library, which means the network has been trained by changing the weights, by using the gradient descent rule and all, and it will train with some amount of images. Once the training is done, we will do the testing. We will give the test image and it will read the image. As same, it will sampling where image.
Veerabhadra Swami, sorry to interrupt. ನೋಡಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 30 minutes ಮೇಲೆ ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ. ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ 40 minutes ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಸೆಷನ್ ಇದು?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಬೇಗ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೀನಿ.
ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ.
Next is result analysis. In this experiment, where the images taken for detection and recognition is from ORL database, the training set is created based on the 188 images whose complete data is being stored in the network, are used for testing purpose. The training set is created and whose complete data has been stored in the network. Once training set is created, then the test input is taken, whose initially all data is extracted using inbuilt functions. Once the data is extracted, it is matched with the training set. The previous figures shows where the left side is the data from the image is from the database, and the right side image, which is from the test input what we have been given. It will compare the eyeball distance and it will verify for the whether it's authorized person or unauthorized person. The testing involves select the test folder. As of I said, based on the common features, it will classify into different groups, where it will select the image from there and it will compare it with the test case. And if it's compared with maximum, it's a threshold number is fixed. If it's above the threshold, it will consider as a correct user. If it's not, it's a fake user. Next is conclusion. After performing the experiment, it can be concluded that the face detection and recognition works very well with the neural networks, because even though the face is not proper, it can be detected precisely because of the hidden layer processing. Therefore, all the images in the database have been tested and obtained exact results. And the paper has presented a face recognition system using artificial neural network in the context of face verification and face recognition using photometric normalization or comparison. Applying histogram equalization and homographic filtering techniques on the face image do not give much impact on the performance of the system, because we are using the neural network. It will work for any of the images with bad quality also, and it is conducted under controlled environment. These are the references. Thank you. That's it, sir.
ವೀರಭದ್ರ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ.
Yes, ma'am.
ಹಲೋ.
Yes, ma'am.
ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ಡೇಟಾ ಸೆಟ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಮೇಜ್ ರೆಕಗ್ನಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಗೆ?
Yes, ma'am.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಡೇಟಾ ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ?
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಡೇಟಾ ಸೆಟ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಫೇಸ್ ನ ಇದ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಥರೈಸ್ಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಅನ್ಆಥರೈಸ್ಡ್ ಯೂಸರ್ ನ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಡೇಟಾಬೇಸ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ದ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಈಗ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಒಂದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಸೊ ಆ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಬೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು.
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಹಲೋ,
ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್.
ಏನಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ನೀವು ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಗಿವ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್. ಏನು ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಫೇಶಿಯಲ್ ರೆಕಗ್ನಿಷನ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ನ್ಯೂರಲ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್, ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದೀರಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಲೈಕ್ ನೀವು ಏನೋ ಬಯೋಮೆಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೂಷನ್, ಏನೋ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ.
ಫೇಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ ಬಯೋಮೆಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಫೇಸ್ ರೆಕಗ್ನಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಫಿಂಗರ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ, ಬಯೋಮೆಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್
ಅಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಡೈವರ್ಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಶುಡ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಟು ಯುವರ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಯು ಆರ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ ಬ್ರೀಫ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಹಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟಿಂಗ್, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ನೀವು ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಅದನ್ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಿತ್ತು. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಫೀಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಪ್ರಿಯೇಟ್.
ಸರಿ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್. ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಹೇಮಂತ್ ಸರ್?
ಹೌದು ಹೌದು, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು. ಹಲೋ
ಹಲೋ ಸರ್, ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೆಫರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಿರಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಒಂದು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಒಂದು ಪೇಪರ್ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ? 2019 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ?
ಅದು ಸರ್ ಹುಡುಕ್ದೆ ನಂದ್ರ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕನ್ವಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡೀಪ್ ನ್ಯೂರಲ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಅದು ಆರ್ಟಿಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ನ್ಯೂರಲ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ ನಾನು ಬೇಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಏನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ 19 ಅದ್ರ
ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಬರೀ ಒಂದೇ ಪೇಪರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಿರಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ನೀವು. ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡಿರೈವ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ ಅದು ಬೇಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ ನ್ಯೂರಲ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್. ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಗಳು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಫೀಚರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಬೇಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಗಳು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್. ಆ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಇದ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಸರ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದ್ರ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಗಳು ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್
ಆಯ್ತು, ಓಕೆ ಬಿಡಿ, ಆಯ್ತು, ಓಕೆ. ಬಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಚಾಲೆಂಜಸ್ ಇನ್ ಫೇಸ್ ರೆಕಗ್ನಿಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ನೀವು, ಯಾವ್ದು ಚಾಲೆಂಜಸ್ ನೀವು ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಏನ್ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಹೇಳಿ? ಫೇಸ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಫೇಸ್ ವೆರಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, ಅದೇ ಬಿಗ್ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್
ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಇಟ್. ಹೇಳಿ ವೀರಭದ್ರ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ, ಅಲ್ಲೇನು ಚಾಲೆಂಜಸ್ ನೀವು ಇದೇ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ
ಸರ್? ಅದೇ ವೆರಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಬಿಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಂತ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಸರ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ.
ಚಾಲೆಂಜಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಏನ್ ಚಾಲೆಂಜಸ್ ಇದೆ? ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಓರಿಯಂಟೇಶನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಲೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್, ಆ ತರ ಚಾಲೆಂಜಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಈ ಚಾಲೆಂಜಸ್ಗೆ ಈ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಪ್ರಿಯೇಟ್. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ದೇನಿದೆ ನ್ಯೂರಲ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್ಗೆ ಮೋರ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಪ್ರಿಯೇಟ್, ಆ ತರ ಫ್ಲೋ ನೀವು ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವುಡ್ ಬಿ ಬೆಟರ್. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. So they are not condemning what you have presented, but still more appropriate, specific ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿದ್ರೆ it would be better ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸ್ತು ನನಗೆ. Like what challenges and how those specific challenges are handled by neural networks. ಮತ್ತೆ ನ್ಯೂರಲ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲಿ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಗೆ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಅಸೈನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ನೀವು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್
ಸರ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲಿ ರ್ಯಾಂಡಮ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಅಲಾಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಎರರ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ಎರರ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಎರರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ WN ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಏನೋ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಕಂಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್ ಎರರ್ಗೆ. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಎರರ್. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ದ ಎರರ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಆಲ್ ದ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸತಿ ನಾವು ಎರರ್ ನ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಹೊಸದು ಒಂದು ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಆ ಹೊಸ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಹಳೆ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ರಿಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದೇ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾ weights ಗೂ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಎರರ್ ಆದಷ್ಟು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್
ಓಕೆ ವೀರಭದ್ರ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಓಕೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ, ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ವೆರಿ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ 188 ಇಮೇಜಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಥರ್.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ 188. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ? ರಿಲೆವೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಡೇಟಾ ಸೆಟ್ ಇರೋದು 100% ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 70% ಆಫ್ ದ ಡೇಟಾ ನಾವು ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಆಗಿರೋ 20% ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಮೇಜಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಡೇಟಾನ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸರ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟ್ರೈನ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಇಮೇಜಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅವಾಗ ಅಕ್ಯುರಸಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಇಮೇಜಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ 70% ಆಫ್ ದ ಡೇಟಾ ವಾಟ್ ಆಥರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 188 ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್.
ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀರಾ. ಬಟ್ ಯು ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಟು ಓನ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸ್ತಿದೆ. ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಒಂಥರ ಹೋಲಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಫೇಶಿಯಲ್ ರೆಕಗ್ನಿಷನ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಅದ್ರ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಈ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ obtained. From other these many approaches these could be the possible results. How your approach is giving better result. ಆ ಥರ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ದಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೆಟರ್. ಐಡಿಯಾ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ ನಮಗೆ. ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದಪ್ಪ.
ನ್ಯೂರಲ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಬೆಂಚ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ನೀವೀಗ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಫೋನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳುವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಹೇಳಿ? ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದೇ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಫೋನ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬಡ್ಜೆಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕ ಹಾಗೆ ಏನೇನು ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಟರ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ತಗೋತೀರಾ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ನೀವು ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಏನು ಫೇಶಿಯಲ್ ರೆಕಗ್ನಿಷನ್. ಈ ಫೇಶಿಯಲ್ ರೆಕಗ್ನಿಷನ್ಗೆ ಚೂಸನ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ನ್ಯೂರಲ್ ನೆಟ್. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಬೆಂಚ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಅದ್ರ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಅಂಡ್ ನೀವು ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ಏನ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೌ ಯಾರ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಆರ್ ಯಾರ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ಔಟ್ಕಮ್ ಆ ತರ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಫಾರ್ ವಿಚ್ ಯು ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್. ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು ನೀವು ಡೇಟಾ ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ನನ್ನ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಗುಡ್. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಎಫರ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಬಟ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಓದಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ.
ಅದ್ರ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ದಿತ್ತು ಬೇಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಷ್ಟು ನೋಡಿದೆ ಸರ್. ಅದ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬೇರೆ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ.
ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಓದಿಲ್ಲ. ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಓದೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಿಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಗೆ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನೀವು ಒಪ್ಕೋತೀರಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್, ಅದರ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚಸ್. ಆ ಅಪ್ರೋಚಸ್ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅವ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲೇನ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೇನ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನೀವು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಸಿಂಥಸಿಸ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡೆಮಾನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಎವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ synthesize the information from different sources, do relative comparison and present your interpretations. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ನೋಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಆಥರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದನ್ನೇ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಂದ ಎಂಡ್ ವರ್ಗ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಎಫರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು, ಟೈಮ್ ಬೇಕು, ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಫೈನಲ್ ಇಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 8th semester ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಗುಡ್. ವೀರಭದ್ರ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ, ನೀವೇನು ಬೇಜಾರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಐ ಫೆಲ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್. ಆಯ್ತಾ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್? ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇದ್ರೆ ಕ್ವೆರಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ.
ಸರ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ಸೋದಾ? Hello.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ರಜತ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಹಾ.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಾ?
ಹಾ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು? ಸರ್ ಹೇಮಂತ್ ಸರ್.
ಸರಿ ಸರ್, ಓಕೆ. Good morning, everyone. So my topic is an IoT-enabled stroke rehabilitation system based on smart wearable armband and machine learning. So basically, what's my topic for the introduction? So first, we want to know about what is stroke rehabilitation. So stroke rehabilitation is nothing but a person who has been injured with a stroke, and after the medication having cured with the stroke, we want his muscles will not be much more momentable, and it is in the control as our nervous system has, because a brain stroke causes damage to the central nervous system, and the natural method for the post-stroke recovery is repeated exercise done with the help of a therapist. So to make a stroke person to have his hand to be work, the stroke survivance upper limb motor functions recovery is slower and more difficult. So compared with their lower extremities, moreover the recovery of hand function is often limited. So for this we are going to make a armband with the use of machine learning, and the armband will be of Mayo. It's a company which manufactures the armband to make one-on-one interactions with the therapist, and the main issue is the robot's assistance active training system for neuro rehabilitation can capture biopotential signals from the patients. So biopotential signals is nothing but the signals which is measured with by the armband, which was received by with the help of muscle interaction. So decode this patient motion violation and then enable active response to their intention. So for a stroke person, one-on-one interaction with the therapist who assist and motivate the patient is generally involved in conventional therapy. So where patient's willings of the involvement is low due to the day-by-day repeated passive training. As of every patient has to be trained repeatedly so that his hand will be in regular movement. If it and it's one main disadvantage is it is more cost effective, and the therapist or a nurse who is well trained or not well trained, they'll come and make him exercise. But for example, if a therapist tells a patient to move his hand from one side to other side by picking a ball and keep the ball in another bowl, if the patient will make that one will in this work, a comparative study was conducted among the above three algorithms, aiming to find the optimal algorithm with the highest classification accuracy and the shortest training time. So the muscle action is the main theme or main aim, so that a stroke person can have his hand or leg to be function normally. So to make it more accurate, the wearable wireless system is preferred to collect health data. In addition, emerging Internet of Things technology has offered great opportunity for developing smart rehabilitation system. Therefore, in this work, rehabilitation system enabled smart wearable armband was developed with the miniature electronics integrated inside and flexible textile electrodes evenly distributed among the inner side of the brand. So I had gone through 5 papers. So first one is hand gesture recognition for post-stroke rehabilitation using leap motion. So there are they have been developed two things. One is leap motion and another one is armband. So armband is now it's booming, but leap motion it controls use it which has an accuracy of up to sub-millimeter level. So leap motion it includes physiotherapists and doctors and nurse, and it is passive training. So to overcome this, they have developed a new one called what I had discussed about armband. And the disadvantage is that gesture recognized by the leap motion control is not always accurate. And second one is guide gesture application of hand exercise for post-stroke rehabilitation using Mayo armband. So the Mayo armband, which was using in this paper, its custom gesture data set is created for training. In this paper, they just taken the an application called Mayo, in which they're uploading some videos and actions of the hand to make a person or a patient to make the same. The disadvantage is the sensor in the armband might not always be placed on the right muscle to detect the gesture. So this is the main disadvantage of this paper. And automatic detection of compensation during robotic stroke rehabilitation therapy. So this also once we have called that physiotherapist, it's nothing but the same. The skeleton tracking algorithm is used to classify the posture of the patient between compensator posture or the normal posture. The compensation posture is nothing but making a patient or a person to learn from uh, the application which was developed. The disadvantage is the device was trained with the data from healthy patient, but same classifier failed poorly when trained on the data of stroke surveillance. It's the main disadvantage of this paper. So the interactive upper limb post-stroke rehabilitation system integrating BCI based attention monitoring and virtual reality feedback. So virtual reality feedback is nothing but the same which was discussed in the previous paper. The VR game makes rehabilitation more interesting. So what is VR games? As there are games in PSP or Minecraft, they need the action of the hands, where to have a gun shoot or to make a car driving the left side or right side. They have to make some gesture using their hands. So by playing these games, they are training the patients to make that the muscle the muscle can work and they can recover very fastly. So the disadvantage is nothing but the experiment only collected data from 12 subjects for 1 month. Hence, the result may exist some errors. So they have told that they have taken 12 subjects like shooting the gun or aiming or right and left of the hand or moving forward or stay to showing thumb. Though these are things, but they have told that there are some errors existing in this paper. So high dimensionally myoelectric pattern recognition towards improved stroke rehabilitation. This is after the stroke person when they have been spend around 1 year or 1.5 year of their treatment and they have recovered almost 90%. So of this paper explains that high density surface EMG signals consisting of 89 channels are collected. There are 89 channels, means they have collected for hand, legs, brains. So these are the main channels which they have collected, and the equipments used are very expensive. As you all know that radiography, which is used for scanning, it's also cost very effective. As of same, to have 89 channels and making each channel for each muscle is very difficult and it is very expensive. So actually what is Mayo gesture control armband? So what it does and what we are going to have here. So first we are going to take, there are two things: electromyography and surface electromyography. So electromyography is nothing but having the skin and muscle kept in a same way, but it won't give much accurate, because to penetrate along with the skin and then to muscle, it will have some accuracy delay, and the result may have some delay for that. So what is surface electromyography? The surface electromyography is nothing but the myo brand. It is nothing but it's easily wearable in our hand, and there are 8 channels, multiple channels. Surface electromyography can be collected at any time on the skin surface, according to the needs and actual situation, without the assistance of doctor. So as of I had earlier told that we in this paper, in this project, we are going to make uh, recovery of the stroke patient without the help of any doctors or any trainers. It just we need a family person to assist us, or else if left hand has been affected with the stroke, he can make use of right hand, and can use this myo armband. ML is an approach using machine learning methods to speculate hand gesture from myoelectric patterns. So compared with conventional control strategies, ML based control strategy is more effective, and its map uses limb motion violation to deterrence robot hand function. So in this paper, they have taken 9 gestures and one deterrence robot hand, where 5 hand movements have been recorded. And in this work, uh, a comparative study was conducted among the 3 algorithms, aiming to find the optimal algorithm with the highest classification accuracy and the shortest training time, as I had already mentioned. And a robotic arm is connected to the computer, which mimics the posture of the patient. As I told that the application has been developed where the motion of the hands has been shown. As of the same, the patient has to be done, and then the application will guide whether he is done correctly or not. It will be explained furtherly. And a wearable wireless system is preferred. The real-time assistance from the robot hand gives user the feedback of muscle activity and helps strengthen their motion pattern. So methodology: the proposed system consists of 2 parts: a smart wearable armband as well as smart training equipment. So smart wearable armband is worn around the user forearm. It is situated in the forearm itself. It mainly consists of high pass filters, which will be explained here. Yeah, this is the architecture. So this is there are 2 parts. One is smart wearable armband, and one is smart training equipment. So smart wearable armband consists of 8 channels, which is mentioned right side. It has a textile electrode. Textile electrode is nothing but electrode which is filled with textile, or protected with a textile. And reference node is nothing but the 8 channels. Means 8 electrode has been uniformly distributed. So to have a reference between one and other electrode, we are going to use an electrode reference electrode. So there is a HP filter and front end ADS along with wireless module, IoT based device it is. And smart wearable armband has a HP filter. So what is HP filter? HP filter is nothing but high pass filter. Means if a involuntary movement of a muscle happens, if a sudden movement happens, and which is not relatable to stroke, then it will just filter it all. So we are using HP filter. So EMI filter is nothing but converting a signal of analog to digital, and the wireless module is nothing but to send the signal to the MIO application, which is in the next slide. And RLD OT, you see, it is nothing but a feedback module, feedback wireless module. If any error or any changes or any new thing has been recorded in the front end, so that will be going to address the armband with the help of reference electrode. So the signal which is sent by the wireless module, ADS amplifies and digitizes the signal. Signals are sent to STA by using TI transistor, which supports Bluetooth low energy. So the signal which is sent by the smart wearable armband, and it will be received in smart training equipment. Here smart training equipment receives the signals, and it makes signal uh, processing. Signal pre-processing technique will be going to happen here. Now then the feature extraction will be going, and then as of we are using ML algorithm, as of we are using training samples and test samples, uh, because these two are required for as we are using ML algorithm, so we need training and testing examples. So after that training and testing examples, we are going to classify the data, and then we are going to make it in a real-time identification. So what is real-time identification? Nothing but a robot hand which is trained with 5 gestures, just 5 gestures. I'll show in next slide. So this is the architecture of stroke rehabilitation system and a smart wearable armband, and there are 9 gestures. So these are the 9 gestures. All 9 gestures can be successfully identified. Meanwhile, the real-time recognition results were converted to a series of appropriate commands, which were used to drive motors indicators in a 3D printed dexterous robot hand and accessible device for neuro rehabilitation. So there are 2 parts in this experiment: a recording session and the identification section. In recording section, subjects were seated in a comfort height adjustable chair, and there are 9 gestures which is called as agree. So it is not denoted in AG. It is denoted in AG, and close hand as CH, open hand as OH, and pointer to point a person in PT, and thumb and middle finger as T and M, thumb and little finger as T and L, flex hand is FH, and extend hand is EH, and relax hand sorry is RE. So the classifier adopts a previously studied by BioPatRack, a modular open source resource platform based on MATLAB. So machine learning is going to there here image processing is also going to take place. So we are going to have MATLAB in here in that, and BioPatRack is an open source platform where the data set will be trained and tested will be done there. Next, gesture recognition. So gesture recognition, first we are going to have pre-processing. Just a minute. Yeah, pre-processing. So for each hand, each subject takes 6.3 seconds of SMEG, means smart wearable armband technique recorded for analysis. The 6.3 second session is segmented into 200 millisecond long time windows. So 6.3 seconds will be divided into 200 milliseconds, and which will be overlap of 50 milliseconds. The valid 6.3 seconds are divided into 123 times windows. So here the pre-processing will be done, and next feature extraction. So in feature extraction, the main 6 to 7 features are having. So one is mean absolute value, so having all the absolute values, all the values, and having the mean of that, and standard deviation of that. There is some formulas for that, and variance as of we know, and waveform length, as the signal was sent in a wireless form. So waveform length will be taken, and root mean square, and 0 cross has been taken. So they are denoted as TM, ABS, TSTD, TWAR, TWL, and TRMS and TZC respectively. For all these, we have given a general name for that. So offline classification accuracy for individual features are calculated using ML, and then one set of 4 features with the highest average CA selected. Each time add one of the remaining feature to form a new feature combination, and then select the combination of highest recognition rate from all options until the feature number of combination was up to 6. So the signal was amplified and digitized by ADS as mentioned below. When performing gesture, the fingers only need to be fully extended or fully flexed without excessive forces. We are not going to make more force. Just we are going to follow the instruction which was displayed in the VR, means in the application. And an real-time hand gesture recognition result was further served as instruction to control the 5-finger dexterous robot hand. And here is an accuracy of individual features. So we have around 7 features, in which we are going in this paper we are going to take 4 features at a time. As of TMABS is having accuracy of 97.979% plus or minus 0.49, and TSTC are 98.25, and TWL as 97, and TRMS as 97.94, where the 4 with the highest accuracy, average classification accuracy, and they were defined as top 4. So by making top 4 and another one, like top 4 we are going to take plus TWAR we are going to take, and another comparison they have made that top 4 plus TWAR plus TZC. Why they have made that? If top 4 plus TWAR is going to give us 99.81 plus or minus 0.04 accuracy, then if you are going to take another one feature, we can get more accurate. So what they have predicted, it's right, and they have it given 99.86 plus or minus 0.02, but we are not going to take the top 4 plus TWAR plus TZC, as it can give the accuracy more, but to reduce the dimensionality, if because the high number of variables will make the model not more accurate, and it can not capable to make accuracy, because if we are going to show thumb finger, it must show us that the functional the movement having in the hand will be a thumb. So we are going to take top 4 plus TWAR. And next, taking classification, performance, and computational complexity into account, top 4 plus TWAR with low dimension and high classification performance was selected. Next, result. Classification. First one, the classification is done with 3 ML algorithms. One is linear discriminant analysis, multi-layer perceptron, and support vector machine. As linear discriminant analysis, a statistical classification method is that, and is the fastest algorithm with low complexity and quick training period, as shown in the graph in right side. And in multi-layer perceptron, it has more, it takes more time in training period, and accuracy will be less when compared to LDA. And same as SVM, it takes very less time to train the machine, but accuracy will be very least, which was really studied with Patrick has already mentioned that the classification performance. The goal of now we are going to explain about what is the goal of the SVM is to obtain the minimum classification error as well as the maximum classification interval to ensure maximum stability and excellent generalization ability. So theoretically, MLP having less training time and less accuracy provides a method for finding optimal solution that can be applied to any kind of classification problem, and it can classify more complex patterns through self-learning. So the whole 123 feature vectors were randomized and were split into 3 sets. So 40% of the feature vectors for training and classification, and 20% for the validation process, and the rest for testing process. We are going to take only just 20% for testing and 40% for training and 20% for validation. So validation is nothing but that what we have given the new input, and what is the train data and what is the test data, it has to be verified. So we are going to make validation with high accurate results. The identified movement intention was achieved by the step described above, served as control input to a 5-finger dexterous robot hand. Each servometer drove corresponding reel to each servo motor drove corresponding reel to rotate meanwhile own fishing line onto the reel. So yeah, this is the dexterous robot which was had told earlier itself. The movement of her hand is recorded, and by the use of ML, the same will be passed to the dexterous robot. So the moment, if you are going to show first finger, front first finger, then the Mayo gesture arm movement application is there. There it will show which finger has been taken and which muscle is working. So this will be these are the techniques made by the application itself. And main thing, there are on just 5 finger gestures, there are 7 gestures will be taken care in the dexterous robot. As of 9 gestures we have taken for visual this one. And next we are going to take a
Hello, Rajat.
result.
Rajat.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Rajat. ಇವಾಗ
Yes, sir.
I was actually expecting machine learning algorithm to be a major discussion, but ನೀವು IoT devices ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ, but algorithms ಏನು ಹೇಳಲೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಯಾವ machine learning algorithm, how exactly it is used to identify the gestures, ಯಾವ್ದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, algorithm name ಹೇಳಲಿಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ.
ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನ ಲೀನಿಯರ್
ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಜನರಲ್ ನೇಮ್ ಅಲ್ವೇನಪ್ಪ ಅದು. ರಜತ್, ನೀವು ಓದಿದೀರಾ, ಡೇಟಾ ಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿದೀರಾ, ಮಿಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿದೀರಾ. ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಜನರಲ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್. ಯಾವ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಮಿಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಗಾರಿದಮ್, ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಫಾರ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈಯಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಗೆಸ್ಚರ್ಸ್, ಅಕ್ಯುರಸಿ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಏನ್ ಇನ್ನೇಮೇನೋ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಅದು ಅಲ್ಗಾರಿದಮ್, ಡೇಟಾ ಸೆಟ್ ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ನೀವು ಡೀಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಲೀನಿಯರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್, ಅಲ್ಗಾರಿಥಮ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮಲ್ಟಿಲಿನಿಯರ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಮತ್ತು SVM ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಈ ಮೂರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಯಾವ್ದು ಆಕ್ಯುರೇಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಫ್ಲೈನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಕ್ಯುರೇಸಿ ತಗೋತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು LDA ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ತಗೋತೀವಿ ಸರ್, ಲೀನಿಯರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ LDA ತಗೋತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಮಸಲ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗೋದು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲೀನಿಯರ್ ಮೋಷನ್ ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲೀನಿಯರ್ ಮೋಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಲೀನಿಯರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ತಗೋತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ performed well in classification of 9 kinds of gestures in this study with significant high classification accuracy 99.85.
ಓಕೆ ರಜತ್, ಓಕೆ, ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀರಾ, ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಮೇಜರ್ ಎಂಫಸಿಸ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್. ನೀವು IoT ಡಿವೈಸಸ್ಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಎಂಫಸಿಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಏನೋ ಅದು ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಅದು ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಡಿವೈಸಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ನಮ್ದೇನಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಿಂಗ್, ಮೇಜರ್ ಮಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಎಂಫಸಿಸ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಈ ಪೇಪರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತು.
ಅದನ್ನ 5 ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಏನು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 5 ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ, ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ IoT ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯಾವ ತರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ, ಆರ್ಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯಾವ ತರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಲ್ ಈಗ ಯಾವ ತರ ನಡೀತಿದೆ, ರೀಜನಲ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ನಡೀತಿದೆ, ಲೈಕ್ ಫಿಸಿಯೋಥೆರಪಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಸೋದಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಆ ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು ಸರ್. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪೇಪರು IoT ಬೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇತ್ತು, ಲೈಕ್ IoT ಸೆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನಿಟ್ಟು ಅದೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋ ಮಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ, ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮಸಲ್.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಐ ಗಾಟ್ ದಟ್ ಏನೋ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್, ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ಏನನ್ನ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ನಿಮ್ದು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಮೇಜರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಈ ರೀತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಅಲ್ಗಾರಿದಮ್ಸ್, ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಲೈಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನಿಮ್ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇವಾಗ ಮಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್, ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ ನೀವು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಮಾಡಿ, ತೊಂದರೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ನೀವು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಈಗ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದಲ್ಲ, ವೀರಭದ್ರ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ 2018ಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀರಾ, 19 ಇಲ್ಲ 20, ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್, ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ನಮ್ದು ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ 2017-18 ಇದೆ, ಬೇಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು 2019 ಸರ್. ಸೊ 2019 ಇದೊಂದೇ ಪೇಪರ್ ಸರ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು.
ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ, ಓಕೆ, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ. ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ.
Ah, okay. So result, estimate the result of features. Like next point will be have covered pre-processing, feature extraction, classification. Now estimate the result selection will be done. The features with the high class separability improve recognition accuracy. So the algorithm which we have selected, LDA, linear discriminator analysis, by that we are going to have a feature extraction very accurately, so that the person who is going to have motion of his hand, whether the muzzle of that particular part is moving or not, this will be estimated. And the classification, there are two components, two features will be taken. So classification based on complexity estimating algorithm. So what is classification complexity estimation algorithm is, it takes the individual sum of each moment. Like LDA will provide particular numbers for each muzzle. So the each muzzle count will be sum, individual sum will be recorded. Along with that, total sum will be recorded in that, and the relation between both will be taken in classification complexity estimation algorithm. What is principal component analysis? So principal component is nothing but the main principle of this is highest contribution at extreme. Like if we are going to have 10 muzzles, because we have taken 8 channels, so it's going to record 8 channels. In that 8 channels, if you are going to consider 3 muzzles, in which the first muzzle is contributing 50% of the work, and second muzzle is contributing 49% of the work, and third muzzle is contributing just 1% of the work, then it's no use to have that 1% muzzle. So this algorithm, this analysis is going to take off that 1% and just concentrate about